Donald Trump gave a speech at the UN event in Manhattan, and during that speech, Wilbur Ross fell asleep. Now, you're gonna understand why, because Trump seemed to be pretty sedated. Take a look.
Global bureaucrats have absolutely no business attacking the sovereignty of nations that wish to protect innocent life. Like many nations here today, we in America believe that every child, born and unborn, is a sacred gift from God. That is why this year I announced that we will never ratify the UN Arms Trade Treaty, which would threaten the liberties of law-abiding American citizens. The United States will always uphold our constitutional right to keep and bear arms. Tyranny advances under many names and many theories, but it always comes down to the desire for domination. It protects not the interests of many, but the privilege of few.
All right, so I hadn't watched that. I heard the audio of it. That was incredible.
Yeah, so look.
That was incredible. That was one of the most amazing Trump videos I've ever watched.
Yeah, okay, so you guys understand what's happening. He's reading from a prompter, and that's why he's speaking softly and carefully, and he obviously didn't read the speech ahead of time. He didn't prepare, very Donald Trump-esque. So that's why he's leaning in to that prompter. You see him looking studiously at the prompter and reading along like this.
His mouth.
And what did they write for me next? I don't really know, nor do I care. So when he's animated, there's prompter on both sides. That's why he goes like this, then he goes like that, and he keeps looking at it. When Trump is animated, he's like, oh, this was a beautiful speech. It was the greatest speech. You know, then that's real Trump. When he's reading from a prompter, he's like, and I am supposed to say this thing that Stephen Miller wrote for me.
But yeah, look, maybe you're right. But it seemed a little different from other examples of him reading from a prompter. You know, the sweaty upper lip, I don't know.
Maybe he ran into Greta Thunberg and got nervous.
Maybe
because he did at the UN. So
now the part of the story that I think is hilarious because it keeps happening over and over again is Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross fell asleep for as long as 15 minutes while Donald Trump was speaking. Take a look.
For this same reason, we have pursued bold diplomacy on the Korean Peninsula. I have told Kim Jong-un what I truly believe, that like Iran, his country is full of tremendous untapped potential.
So good.
I can't get enough of that. Okay, and neither could Wilbur Ross. He's like, oh, this is perfect nap time. Tell me more. Oh, God. Okay, so
he's 81 years old, by the way.
Okay, Trump. Okay. Let me make my fun prediction. Wilbur Ross, goner. Okay, he will be the next to be an unexpected departure from the cabinet. So why do I say that? Number one. Wilbur Ross has fallen asleep in other cabinet meetings before, and it greatly irritates Donald Trump.
Yes.
And he put Wilbur Ross in the cabinet because he had done him favors in loans, giving him loans earlier in his career. So Wilbur Ross has no business in the cabinet in the first place. Doesn't really care about the job. Falls asleep, not just in cabinet meetings, apparently in almost every meeting. So they're all like, Wilbur, wake up, right?
Yeah.
So Trump already doesn't like him. And this energy, this UN speech by Trump is being panned as low energy, which you can tell, obviously it is, right? So what is Trump gonna do? He's gonna find out Wilbur Ross fell asleep, and he's gonna be so mad that people called his speech low energy. Boom, perfect. It's Wilbur Ross's fault.
You know, I think that's the strongest prediction you've made on today's show.
Well, I think it's in her mind, that's a low bar. So
no, I'm too mean.
Okay. I'll be okay. So Wilbur Ross will be blamed for the speech going wrong, and then he'll leave, and they'll make up an excuse. Oh, Wilbur's wife's ankle had a problem, and he's got a kind of a weird shoulder issue, etc.
Anything, yeah.
Anything, but Trump's gonna fire him for falling asleep in that speech.
Oh,
Hear me now, quote me later. The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.